let's get started. I'm here to talk to you about place brand management from an unknown city's perspective. And believe me, there are a lot of invisible cities in the world. When city competition increases, it's so easy to think about Barcelona, New York, Paris, and in a blink, you know exactly what they stand for. But all the other cities, we're in the same competition. There's a war for talent, there's a war for investments, for businesses, for tourists. What do? We need to be on that map. We need to build the brands of our cities. So this is actually from an invisible city's point of view. And I think that urban governance is changing. And we like to think about when we're working with branding Oslo, we like to think about the process like a startup. It immediately takes away your marketing budget. That's good, because we couldn't cope with the budgets that other cities have. It immediately throws in speed into the process, passion into the process, and you have to think outside the box, and you have to work with others, which cities normally don't. So let's start. I realized that being here in Israel, a lot of people have heard about Oslo, for better or worse, but if we ask an international audience what is their main association to Oslo, this is it. This is not my PowerPoint breaking down. They don't know nothing at all. And why on earth should you come invest in us, in our people, in our businesses, if you don't know who we are? And luckily, we are prettier on the inside than on the outside, and we're ranked among the top smartest cities in the world, but it doesn't help us if nobody knows. Well, will Oslo benefit from the mother brand, the Norwegian country brand? Well, this is the most common association to Norway. It is nature, beautiful nature, mountains, the midnight sun, the fjords. And if you're into tourism, this is okay. But if you're into talent attraction, you want investments, you want businesses to come to your country, this is a nightmare. And why is that? Because it looks like nothing ever happens in this country. My God, do people even live here? And the only action you might come by is a moose having sex, so nothing actually happens. So it's imperative for Oslo to build an urban brand of its own. And so 74 municipalities and the city of Oslo has decided to go together and actually make a place brand management strategy for the region of Oslo. And believe it, the drop in oil prices is definitely, it's a blessing in disguise, and it raises our sense of urgency. So what we did, the process, we thought that there are so many companies, so many organizations, so many people who every day is trying to put Oslo on the map internationally, but they don't play the same music. So we have to gather them. So the strategy is actually a co-working project. So more than 1,000 people has been directly involved in developing the new brand platform for Oslo. And we believe that's crucial because it will be easier to implement it when they take ownership from the start. Transparency, very important in Norway. So we did a web page, which is still there, 100% open. We posted everything we did. The invitations to workshops, the notes from the workshops, the strategies, the interviews, everything is there so that also the public who actually owns the brand of Oslo could see what is going on, and they could comment on it, and they could actually give ideas if they wanted themselves. You can go and look at the strategies. They are there at Project Oslo Region if you want to. Well, it's not enough to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I pretty? You actually have to ask the outside world, because perception is reality within branding. So what we did is that we did a meta-analysis of 50 benchmarks or city comparisons where Oslo is represented to see what are our strengths and what do we need to fix. And I won't go into detail, but I can assure you that we really learned a lot of things. The following areas are essential for us to strengthen the Oslo brand, and I won't go into details, but I will tell you, you have to improve both perception but also reality. And we have to improve the perception of culture because people think that nothing is going on in Oslo. No wonder, you might say, when you think about the pictures. But actually, Oslo holds more than 5,000 live performances a year. That's more than double of Stockholm and Copenhagen together. But we have never told the world. So that's the perception thing we have to improve. On the other end of the scale, we have to increase hospitality performance. We now need to do something about the bureaucracy. We need to make it easier. We need to make it more digital to come work in our country, in our city, and come study. We know this now, and we have to do that. So we have developed a brand filter. We have chosen not to do a slogan and not a visual identity because the city itself is the brand. But we do want all the corporations, all the people, organizations in the region to actually work together and start playing the same music. So that's the brand filter. And it needs to be really simple because if not, nobody will use it. So the values are the most important when we work with all key stakeholders to get on brand, pioneering, enriching, and real. And our goal is to make Oslo the world's most favorite compact city. We are not big. There are cities that are much bigger than we are. We think of that as an asset and not an obstacle, and we truly believe that small is the new big, and it definitely is within innovation. And I will tell you in a bit why is this positive to the world, the compactness of a city. So how do we work to get projects on brand? We work now to discuss with different project owners in the region to help them get their projects on brand. And we're looking for which projects can we support to help bring the world's attention to Oslo. And this is one of those examples, is Future Library. This is an art project by the Scottish artist Katie Patterson. She has planted 1,000 trees in the forest of Oslo. And in 100 years, those 1,000 trees will go down, they will be paper, and they will be books. Every year, the next 100 years, one author is invited to write a book on any subject, on any length. The only thing is, nobody will be able to read this manuscript until the year 2114, when the trees are down to be made for books. And each year, this author comes to the forest of Oslo, hands over the manuscript, and the manuscript is taken to our main library to be kept safe and a secret until 2140. Now, is this pioneering? Yes, we think so. Is this enriching? I don't know much about the future. I know that none of us will be able to read the books, but it makes me think, will there be people on the planet in 100 years? What languages do they speak? Will they read? Will there be books? Will there be libraries? So it's enriching for our lives today, this art project. And is it real? Yes, believe me, this is real. So we thought, how can we make the buzz? And here we start to act like a startup company. We didn't have a marketing budget to bring the attention of this to the world. Luckily for us, the first author who was chosen is Marit Høvik, Canadian, very famous. She had 800,000 followers on Twitter. And we thought, well, her fan base will probably want to be part of that handover day in the world, but 800,000, they won't come to Oslo. We have to bring the experience to them. So we found Periscope broadcasting. It was launched in February, and it's integrated to Twitter. And so the ball kept rolling, and we were able to meet 107 million people around the world through social media. X Games is coming to town, February, March. I guess you're invited. So let me stop with this. This is the value of short distances and a compact city. Oslo is on top in the world of commuting time. We have the lowest commuting times, so that obviously gives you quality of life. So there's a short distance between nature and concrete, between work and play. But the most important short distance in Oslo is that we have almost non-existing hierarchies, meaning that you have short access to power. You're only a tweet away from power. You can actually find corporations to collaborate with in a really speedy manner. And this is the value of small and compact. A lot of things happening on the entrepreneurial scene. And if you want to meet some of these pioneering, enriching, real startups, meet us tomorrow. 10 companies are presenting. And you will reach me here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Oslo.